Hello everyone, semi-retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. Today, it's just a walk. Hopefully I'll come up with something to talk about along the way, but I'm just out here in the 45-degree weather taking a walk. I do actually have a topic today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. You may be asking yourself, what in the world are we watching here, Bob? Well, primarily you're watching me walk. 17 months ago, I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for 2 to 2.5 minutes without severe pain. Now I'm out here walking every day. The whole point of this channel is to get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. I'm 60 years old. I started this way of eating the day before my 59th birthday. And the changes have been, you'd have to say, miraculous. It's amazing what our bodies will do if we just give it the right nutrition. But yeah, the whole point of the channel is to get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. So please help me with that mission. Go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And drop down in the comments and say, "Hi, Bob." All those little things are absolutely free. But they do help get the word out. Helps me to spread my message. If you think somebody might like my content, feel free to share it on your social media. Send it to somebody in an email. Share it however you like. For point of reference, if you go back to a year ago's videos, I'm up at the top of that big hill that I had to stop 2 or 3 times coming up that hill. And I had to just stand there and breathe for a bit. And now, we're up here at the top of the hill. I'm going to turn the corner, go around the big block today. There's that stop signs at the top of the hill. And we're coming up on that tree I like really well. It's a pine tree with the branches and things cut out of it so that we can go through. You guys have seen this before. But yeah, considering it's, I don't remember what it said, somewhere in the mid-40s. Considering it's mid-40s, it's not too bad out here. It looks like the rain that we've been getting for the last 3 or 4 days is finally over. It's supposed to get down into the mid to low 30s for the next couple of nights, and then warm back up again and be high in the mid 60s to low 70s for a few days. That'll be nice. I still have a few things I want to get done. I got to get my backyard, I got to finish trimming that stuff up. But I need to let the ground dry out a little bit, because it's hard enough for me to get up and down off the ground. I certainly don't want to be sitting on wet ground while I'm cutting things up. So we'll see how that goes. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. It does mean an awful lot to me that you choose to spend just a few moments of your day with me. I'm out here trying to get a little bit bigger pace on my walk, because I feel like I've been slacking off all summer. I haven't been. My step count hasn't been as high, and I haven't been doing as much actual walking because I've been doing so much other stuff. I don't know if you guys all watch Dr. Sean Baker or not, but he did a reaction to a comment video today that it bears talking about, because he got some comment on one of his videos that said, well, I've been doing carnivore for 6 months, and I went to my doctor, and my LDL was high, and now I've got heart disease. I'm really disappointed. Well, in my opinion, carnivore did not cause your heart disease. Heart disease takes decades to build up. Just like, we talked about the kidney stone thing a few videos ago. Let's talk about this heart disease thing just a little bit, because, I won't say I'm an expert on heart disease, but I have had a triple bypass surgery. So I have done some investigating on this. Heart disease doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't even happen in 6 months. It takes decades to build up. You're not going to go on a carnivore diet and have heart disease that just pops up out of nowhere. It just doesn't happen. There's plenty of, now again, it's all anecdotal evidence. There's no actual scientific studies out there, but the anecdotal evidence shows us that there's a lot of people out there that, and I'm going to have to sit down on the street here for just a minute. They got some work going on the sidewalk right here, and a freshly planted piece of grass. I don't want to walk on that and mess it up. But there have been many incidents where people have been doing carnivore diet for a decade and had a CAC score of 0, which is coronary artery calcium scores. And on some rare occasions, people that had a not 0 score have seen their numbers go down year over year. The thing that makes that interesting, it may only go down by 1 or 2%, but the normal for people is, once you've been established as having calcifications in your arteries, the general consensus, and again, this is just what the so-called researchers say, but in general, once your CAC score is no longer 0, you normally see about a 10% increase year over year. So getting an increase of less than that is a win, and getting it to actually go down a little bit is an even bigger win. And that's the big thing that I see in the carnivore diet, ketogenic diet, low carb, whatever version you're doing, because the results can be so dramatic and so quick. When something goes wrong, people are also very quick to blame that on the diet. And just because something can improve you in a hurry doesn't mean it's going to make you worse in a hurry. The other thing Dr. Baker was talking about is the risk versus reward. He was saying Why are you doing this diet? What kind of benefits are you getting from it? And if by chance, now me personally, I don't believe that eating a carnivore diet, because I believe it's a species appropriate, species specific diet. I don't believe it adds to coronary artery disease. But even if it does, what is your risk versus reward? What are you getting out of doing the carnivore diet? Are you, is your IBS better? What total health improvements have you seen from it versus this nebulous possible risk of something else out in the future? And that's something you have to decide for yourself. I can't tell you what to think. All I can do is tell you what I think. And for me personally, and I've said this before, but even if I knew for a fact that 3 months from now eating the carnivore diet was going to kill me, I wouldn't change a thing. Because I remember what my life was like 17 months ago when I started this. I remember that I was just existing from day to day, surprised every morning when I woke up again. Basically just sitting around the house waiting to die. And now I'm living again, and I'll take another week of being healthy and living my life over another year or two of how I felt 17 months ago. It's not even a choice. But again, you have to make up your own decision. You have to make up your own mind, make your own decisions. But me personally, I don't believe carnivore diet, even if your LDL goes way up, I don't believe that it's causally linked to heart disease. I think heart disease has many complicated things, and the primary causes of it, diabetes, high blood pressure, inappropriate inflammation. It's a complex thing. So we can't just say, oh, well, your cholesterol's really high, so that's what's causing your heart disease. No. I don't believe that for a minute. Because if high cholesterol caused heart disease, how are we here as a species? How does that make any sense? Since every cell in our body has cholesterol in it. Our body needs cholesterol to function properly. And I think that's where we've gotten the biggest amount of sickness from over the last 25, 30, might even be 35 or 40 years now. But ever since they started the cholesterol hypothesis and statins came out, I believe it was in the late 90s, early 2000s. But ever since they had a drug that would lower your cholesterol, and it actually doesn't lower your cholesterol, it lowers your LDL, which is, as we all know, low density lipoproteins, which are the transporters, but they're not the actual cholesterol. Where was I going with this? Sorry, I got distracted by all the squirrels out here. There's a lot of squirrels out here running around today. Yeah, why would our body make cholesterol in such high amounts if it was bad for us? I forget where I heard it, but I believe there's something like only 15% of our total cholesterol is what we eat. It might only even be 10%. I know a great deal of it is manufactured in our bodies. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling today. I'm out here on a long walk around. So, since it's been such a long time since I've done it, I'll have some more thoughts when I get back up to the house. But for now, I'm going to flip the camera around and say cue the music. Okay, cut the music. Thank you. I do want to talk about what I learned in the kitchen real quick. Oh, for point of reference, you just saw me come up that second great big hill all in one shot. That's the one where I had the other one that I had to stop and take 2 or 3 breaks coming up that hill. And today I've walked this whole route without stopping at all. And I'm not feeling it at all. I can tell I'm a little winded at this point because I've been walking pretty fast. But for the most part, let me adjust this camera just a little bit more. There we go. So I can tell I'm a little winded because I've been walking kind of fast. But it's good for us to push ourselves a little bit. You know, the whole 1% thing. But I wanted to talk to you about the little cooking thing that I learned. Because I was over at the grocery store just a couple of days ago and picked up more ground beef packages. I found a really good deal on some pre-made patties, so I bought those. Bought a bunch of eggs. I got about 6 dozen eggs in the fridge right now. So I'm stocked up pretty well, but they had this great big roast that was on sale. And you know, I've been having pretty good luck with doing boneless roasts, just wrapping them up in aluminum foil and baking them in the oven for a few hours. I thought, well, I'm going to give this one a go in there. It had a bone in it. I'm not sure why exactly, because anytime I've gotten a bone-in kind of a roast, a big roast, you know, a 6, 7, 8 pound chunk of roast with bone in it, I just throw it in my slow cooker and let it run overnight, and the meat just kind of falls off the bone, and I can literally reach down into it, grab the bone and pull it out. Well, I put it in the oven this time it ran for about 8 hours on 225. I took it out and the bone was still stuck tight, so I had to carve all around it. And one of my meals this week, because I carved it all up and put it in Ziplocs, but one of my meals this week, I'm going to make some eggs and then heat up that bone with all of its meat hanging onto it and just kind of gnaw on that. So I found it interesting that a slow baked roast, for whatever reason, the meat won't fall off the bone as easily as it does in that slow cooker pot that I have. So that'd be interesting. I mean, that was interesting. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it is something to be aware of, at least from the way I cooked it this time. And it came out a little bit tougher than normal. So I will know better in the future. Oh, look at that. An Amazon van, but it's going on around the corner. I'm expecting something from Amazon today. But since I'm out here, let's see how things went as I come up on the house here. Let's see, because it's actually Sunday. You guys are gonna be seeing this on Monday, but I brought the truck home on Thursday and hasn't run since. Let's see if yeah, there it goes. It started just fine. I'm gonna let it run for just a few minutes. Since I started it, I hate to just start it and shut it back off again. But yeah, so that was my experience with cooking a big roast. I cut it up and it was a pretty big roast. I've got 4 baggies worth of meat in there that I'm going to heat up on different days. Normally a roast that size, I would cut it up into 2 or 3 chunks, but I cut this, let me know, 1, 2, 3. Actually, I cut this one into 5 chunks on top of what I ate yesterday. So I'm intentionally trying to stretch my meat farther by only having about 1 pound to 1.25 pounds of meat to go with 6 to 10 eggs, because I am still on a quest to cut money, to save money, because of this thing behind me. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. Well, it wasn't a quick little video with the music section in the middle, but I made it all the way around the big block that took me a month and a half to get around before, and it usually took 45 to 50 minutes to get all the way around it, and I did it in less than 30 minutes this time. But don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.